News desk. We begin from Kisumu. This is a trending story online. Everybody is talking about what has happened in Kisumu. We'll be joining Kevin Ogutu because the police in Kisumu were this morning engaged in a gun battle with armed robbers who raided Equity Bank on Angawa Avenue in the CBD. Kevin Ogutu has been on this beat and has been following this story and speaking to authorities and also the residents in the court. Those are live pictures preceding that event at Equity Bank, located along Angawa Avenue in Kisumu Central Business District. We'll be speaking to Kevin Ogutu, that's the cop trying to gain access of the Equity Bank that was raided today. Kevin, we are seeing those astonishing pictures from Kisumu and the crowd and everything we've been hearing since morning when this event occurred, and of course it's trending online. A lot of Kenyans speaking about this. Take us through exactly what could have happened at Equity Bank.
Okay, the latest that we have so far, Mijungu, is that right now police officers are trying to gain access to Equity Bank, the first floor of the bank. So quite a number of police officers have so far gained access into. We have quite a rowdy group here. That's why you will forgive me for the noise in the background. But Mijungu, just to bring our viewers up to speed, is that the latest is that the police believe that we still have the armed robbers right into the bank. This is Equity Angawa Avenue branch, and so far they've cleared the ground floor, and the latest is that now the police, the criminal investigation officers, are now gaining access. They're right inside the first floor, and this could be interpreted to mean that they had blocked the conventional access to the first floor from the ground floor when inside the building. Well, so far about 6 employees have been evacuated. There are about 2 suspects, but no one has been killed so far. We don't have any fatality case here right now, and except for those who are overwhelmed by the tear gas canisters that were lobbed into this particular establishment. Well, this is something that has taken slightly over 1 hour because the robbers here, the armed robbers, came here with quite a number of tear gas canisters and stormed this particular Equity branch with the tear gas canisters. And it's been quite one hell of an exercise here, and that informs the reason why we have the fire engine that has been brought on standby here, just to reduce the effects of the tear gas canisters. From the pictures that we have, those are police officers feeling the heat of the tear gas canisters that these particular armed robbers lobbed into this particular establishment while forcefully gaining access to it. This is now like the second time we are having such kind of robbery, or third thereabout, somebody's correcting me. And the last time we had such attempted robbery, there was one fatality. One armed robber was actually gunned down right here. And this is yet another attempt to rob this particular bank on the same spot. So, Mijungu, that is the latest that we have. About 6 employees who've since been evacuated, 2 suspects. We don't know whether they are robbers or not, and operations still being on to really establish, if at all, we still have them in here, and if possible, apprehend them. So, of course, later on, Mijungu will have a comprehensive statement from the police officers. I'm seeing here the county CCIO of Kisumu and several high-ranking police officers, including the OCPD, Kisumu Central, being part of this operation. So, of course, we expect a more detailed interview after this is over. Mijungu.
All right, Kevin, we're on standby for that interview, but not so fast. We're not leaving you yet. Talk to us about exactly why the police are at the scene. Why are they climbing over the walls? Is there suspicion there are robbers on the upper floor of that building? And have you heard anything from the authorities, even as we wait for the formal statement? And what time did this occur? What exactly occurred? How do they even know they are robbers and not just people who are after some mischief at the bank? Who confirmed they are robbers at the bank?
Well, Mijungu, from where I sit here and the kind of interactions I've had with police officers is that there is sufficient belief that they could be on the ground floor of these establishments. They've already cleared the first floor rather of this establishment. They've already cleared the ground floor, and that's why even from the pictures that we are seeing, it's now possible to see the banking hall. But there is a belief that they could be on the first floor of this establishment, and the convenient route to this particular floor must have been blocked by them or otherwise. And that is probably what has informed the police officers in their numbers are trying to gain access from this particular balcony. So, as I mentioned, we still have the police officers doing the much that they can do as professionals, and we can only hope that we will get some substantive report in the course of the day, Mijungu.
All right, and Kevin, earlier on we heard that there could have been injuries. You're reporting there is no injury at all. The staff have been evacuated from the building. The police are now very actively involved. We see the pictures on the screen. Cleanup has already begun. Were these robbers armed? What are the staff telling you, the staff who are inside? What did they say to them? What were their demands? What weapons were they carrying, you know?
Well, the staff who are in here serving Kenyans, as it is their duty, have since been evacuated. They have shock and trauma, and they've been rushed to various health facilities. And it was not really possible to have a one-on-one interview with them, because I'm sure the DCI is also keen on interviewing them just to get to know what actually transpired. And talking about how armed these robbers were, the preliminary report that we have so far is that they could have been having one gun and several tear gas canisters, given the manner in which they were, lobbed into this banking hall, left, right, and center, and smoke was billowing from every other available corner. So, yeah, Bijungu, very important questions there, but again, we must admit that we will get these facts, because as we speak right now, we are seeing part of the team that gained access to the ground floor of this particular establishment just had a gunshot. We are not sure what exactly has happened here in Mijungu, and I don't know whether we can get the pictures. We are trying to be safe at the same time, Mijungu, but
see the pictures, and we've had the gunshot.
Hello?
All right, we are with Kevin Ogutu on the phone. Live pictures from Kisumu, Angawa Avenue, where there is actually a standoff between the police and the alleged robbers who stormed into the bank and deploying tear gas canisters. There is an individual there who is being pushed by the police. I think there's other police intervening in that. And there was a gunshot about a few seconds ago. Journalists are now scampering for safety. We can't be able to speak to Kevin, but as soon as we get him back on the phone, we'll try and get a perspective exactly what is going on and the pictures we're seeing, because he says there's a belief that the robbers are holed up in the first floor or on the first floor of the Equity Bank building that is located along Angawa Avenue. So those are live pictures coming to you from the county of Kisumu, and obviously everyone is interested in this. What exactly happened here in the morning? Did they manage to escape? And did they talk, has he spoken to anyone who has been inside, the people who left, the workers at the bank and all that? It's an interesting scenario, because as Kevin says, this is not the first time that there's a robbery incident in that area. The first one robber was actually killed, and no other casualties were reported. And that's exactly what's happening in Kisumu. A standoff between robbers believed to be holed up on the first floor of that building. Earlier on, we saw policemen trying to climb over the windows to access that first floor of the building. Gunshots going off, quite some push and pull by the main entrance of Equity Bank. and so many policemen, armed policemen, of course not with the protective body armor, but most of them are armed. We understand there'll be a statement a little bit later on regarding what happened in Kisumu. We'll also try and get back to Kevin Ogutu and speak to him. So far, what we have learned is they lobbed tear gas canisters inside the bank, and it caused quite some commotion. There were people running left, right, and center. Kevin, we saw some commotion earlier on. What is that commotion about, that gunshot that went off?
Well, what we believe to be a gunshot, but so far we can't see anybody with an injury, because from where I am, it is quite strategically located. But the newest development is that the police here, they are trying to really explore other means of gaining entry into this building. I can see there's been a significant reinforcement of police officers just to ensure that those who could be, if still in this building, are apprehended. And Mijungu, it's also important to mention that this particular establishment, this particular building, that is the Equity Bank, located along Angawa Avenue, is prone. We can say that because it has been, visited. There have been attempts here more than any other bank in this particular city of Kisumu. And that is some of the things that, of course, we will be exploring in as much as we are following up to get the latest details in the search for these armed robbers who are still believed to be somewhere locked in this particular building. So, Mijungu, well, that is the match that we have now. Police officers trying every other avenue to ensure that this place is surrounded and they've got safety access, and if possible, get hold of this particular suspect. And of course, this is something that we are keen on ensuring that we are following to the latest. So it appears that there could be a locked door somewhere, because I just seen some police officers with some metallic bar and another weapon being brought. So the team has again rushed in there. We can guess that maybe they are locked in some room there or not, because we can only report from where we can see all this. And so, Mijungu, we are on the standby just to get our viewers to know the latest when it comes to this particular stand-up that is now well over 1.5 hours, if I may approximate. It's been quite some time here, and I think the police officers from various departments are keen on ensuring that they don't escape from this particular operation. Yeah, Mijungu.
Kevin, if you'll be kind enough, would you remind us, this is the same Equity Bank that a few years ago, 2007, 2008, was burnt and was raided during the post-election violence? Is it the same bank? And secondly, that bank is usually armed. I have been near that bank. It's usually secured, sorry, not armed, but secured by policemen. What are those policemen saying? Or they have also not spoken, because at the entrance of that Equity Bank, there's usually armed policemen. So with those armed policemen, these guys still manage to get access to the bank. Have you heard something about them?
Well, of course, this, I'm not sure right now about the incident in the 2007-2008 post-election violence, because quite a number of buildings were touched in this particular town. But yes, when it comes to frequency of attack or we attempts, then the Equity Bank, Angawa Avenue branch is taking the lead. We talk about the police officers who are normally on 24-hour manning the entrance to this particular bank, with one, of course, at the ATM. But again, what we need to know, our viewers need to know, is that these suspects came in a Subaru Forester. It is still parked here, and they hired a number of tear gas canisters. But now the missing link is how exactly they gained access in here, or if it was successful.
Kevin, stay with us. Kevin, stay with us. We're going to come back to you. We have to take a short commercial break. We have to pay our bills. When we come back, We'll see if the policemen have spoken to you. Kevin Ogutu reporting live from the county of Kisumu, where there is a standoff at Equity Bank, where robbers gained access this morning. The police still believing there are some armed robbers who are holed up on the first floor of the Equity Bank located along Angawa Avenue in Kisumu. We'll try and get back to Kevin Ogutu after this short break. Stay with us.